One. So just.
Sean is 4 years old. He is living with his mother Amy, who is 20 years old, and his father Roberto, who is 23 years old. Amy and Roberto have been together for the last 5 years and have been living together for the last 2 years. Amy was 15 when she became pregnant with Sean. Her parents were very upset by the relationship with Roberto and subsequent pregnancy. Amy continued to live with her parents after Sean was born, but moved into an apartment with Roberto shortly after her 18th birthday. After Amy made the decision to move out, her parents refused to continue to support her. Amy has not spoken to her parents in 2 years, and Sean has little to no contact with any of Amy's family. Roberto is a part-time delivery man for a pizzeria in town, but is taken into dealing drugs on the side. He has also begun using drugs on occasion and is rarely home with Amy and Sean. Roberto is originally from Romania and is living in Ireland without any official paperwork. He is unsure what process he needs to develop in order to live in Ireland legally and officially. He also seems to be reluctant to start this process himself, or indeed to do it at all. He doesn't seem to care. This is very troubling for Amy, who desperately wants the best for her child. Sean has recently started to exhibit some worrying behaviour in his play school. He seems to be acting out towards his teacher and with his classmates. Sean seems very clever and very creative, but is easily distracted. He has also shown signs of bedwetting and a regression in his toilet training. Amy tries her best to keep Sean healthy and happy, but she struggles at times to meet his needs, both financially and emotionally. Amy doesn't have any social life and is quite overwhelmed by the responsibility she is faced with every day. So first of all, Amy, I'd like to welcome you to this meeting here, and I would now like everyone to introduce themselves to Amy. So we will start with you here.
Hi Amy, I know you from Cherry Hill Childcare Centre. I am the lead practitioner and my name is Kira.
Hi Amy, my name is Francis and I'm the representative of the Northwest Drugs Transport.
Hi Amy, and I'm a family support worker.
Hi Amy, I'm Nicole and I'm from Immigration Services.
Now before we begin the meeting, I would just like to discuss the key principles of the meeting. So Amy, nothing will happen here without your consent. Everything discussed here is approved by you, Amy. We have invited agencies and practitioners here to give you help and support. The meeting will involve open discussion between everyone. Identifying and reassuring strengths are highly important throughout the process. So Amy, would you like to tell us a bit about Sean?
Well, Sean is 4 and he's kind of over the last 6 months started to act out a little bit in school. At home he seems to be relatively fine. He's fine with me and he seems really happy, but at school I think he's been acting out as Kira and myself discussed before.
So here, would you like to tell us what he's like in school?
Well, Sean is a great little boy and he has so much potential. He's a great eye for detail, as you can see in his pictures that he brings home. And he's just a good child overall, but over the last while I saw his behaviour. Did you notice anything maybe?
Not at home. He doesn't really have any friends. He doesn't really interact with any other children his age.
Yes, see, out in the playground he kind of conflict, but like he's interested in the activity, but just conflict with other children.
Well, Amy, we offer support in the Family Life Centre here in St. Michael's. It's therapeutic support. It's for child's play and for family. And what we do is we bring a number of kids in, and whatever their interest is, art or drama or music or whatever, and we let them kind of engage in a safe and more relaxed environment in a school playground, and that kind of helps the child to develop maybe something that you're interested in.
Yeah,
we can talk about it later on after the meeting. Give you any
That's
information
with
you need.
is that with other children or just himself? Or?
No, it's all with other children, yeah, and plus it gives the mum or the father time for themselves to go in and have a cup of tea and kind of have a chat amongst themselves as well. It's like it's a win-win for both. So
That sounds good.
yeah, it's a good program, so it is now.
Do you think that would be a benefit to Sean, Amy?
Absolutely. And for me as well, to actually have some time to do something for me would be very nice.
Yeah, like give an opportunity for you to go and socialise as well.
Yeah, and I think in turn that might be better for Sean as well. If he sees me interacting with other people, it might help him interact with other people maybe.
Amy, would you like to tell us a bit about Roberto, how he is at home?
Roberto doesn't really stay at home that much. He's very, very rarely at home. Sean doesn't really see him all that much. He got kind of caught up with a bad crowd, and he's dealing drugs at the moment, and he's taking drugs as well. Not at the house. I don't know about that in the house, but it means that Roberto isn't there very much at all, and that's a big concern.
I am here with different programs available to you, Amy, and to Roberto. It's for people who suffer from drug and alcohol abuse, and also family members of the person who has the drug issue or alcohol issue. So we have these programs that will help you in the home environment. If you're interested, I can talk to you in more detail about this after the meeting.
Would you be interested in some of them options and services available to you, Amy, and Roberto also?
I think so. Roberto would probably be reluctant to take part, but if there was something I could bring to show him, maybe that he could, if you have anything I can give him that he can read or do some research.
There is programs available that we will be able to give you leaflets on and more information. You might be able to have a discussion at home and you'll have a better idea what you'd be interested in.
Yeah.
He's more than welcome to come along, Amy, to the meetings, and Francis can discuss with him different options that are available.
Maybe if I can show him some stuff, he'll know what to expect, and then maybe he would want to come along to the next one and talk to you.
There is options available there for Roberto too, from my own sector of things. Springboard, that is people who maybe aren't working, or it gives them an option to ease themselves back into work and maybe find out what they're like, and it might help as well. Maybe give them some encouragement to come to some of these meetings, see what we offer.
Amy, with regards to Roberto getting citizenship in Ireland, there's a few guidelines you'd have to follow. First, you couldn't have a criminal record. So if do you know whether he does or not? We'd have to discuss that with him and see if he'd tell you. And he'd have to be living in the country 5 years, but you already said to me that he was.
Yeah, he is.
So that's not a problem. And then he'd have to be in full-time work for, I think it's a minimum of 3 years. I'll give you leaflets after the meeting, but you said for the sake that his job gives cash in hand. So I think it'd all have to be legally documented, so we could process information. But with Sean, because you were born in Ireland and you're an Irish citizen, Sean has Irish citizenship.
That's great. That was definitely a worry. I wasn't sure what that meant for Sean.
But if Roberto is interested in it, I could meet with you in a different meeting if he's not willing to come to a meeting as big as this.
Okay.
We could meet just one-on-one and I could give him the information.
That's great, thank you.
So Amy, you'd be happy to get some forms off Nicole and
Absolutely, yeah.
arrange to meet with her again, and even bring Roberto along if he would be interested in coming. Yeah.
I don't know if he knows any of that information, so if he knows that, he might be more inclined to follow through with something, maybe even take part in Springboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe all the leaflets and advice they can give you here today will be a benefit, and you can bring it home to Roberto.
Yeah.
And all of this too, it's a positive aspect in regards to Sean.
Yeah.
He sees both the willing to try and better your circumstances. It's going to give him a confidence too. So
Yeah.
it's a win-win all around. So this.
He'd enjoy Roberto being home more, might give him more stability, and he might just be simply happier to see us happy as well. So.
Does anybody have anything further to say before we finish the meeting? No. So from this meeting, we've established that the outcome is for Amy to go out more and be engaged in more social outings, and also for Sean and Amy to take part maybe in some family therapy. And if you'd all agree, we'd set a meeting for the same time next Thursday. And if nobody's anything further to say. So Amy, I'd like to thank you very much for coming today, and hopefully this meeting has been a benefit to you.
Thank you very much.
Before you have any questions?
Okay. What services are available with the Northwest Drug
We have services that will be able to help Amy and Roberto. So there's an asserted outreach alcohol and drug service. So what happens is there's an initial assessment of Roberto, and then there's a care plan that would be drawn up to help him out. He can be offered one-to-one counselling as well, and group therapy thereafter. So that would be a benefit to Roberto. For yourself, Amy, there's a program running called CRAFT. It's a community reinforced approach to family training. So basically it gives you skills that would be able to help you as a family member, and you'd be able it would give you knowledge and help the loved ones with issues regarding their substance abuse in the home environment. So they will be available to you.
What further information and support can you give David?
Well, me as a preschool worker, we observe our students every week, and then as well as that we go on home visits every term. So as Amy knows, we come out to the house and it's more so a chat and more than formal or that. And anyways, if Amy wants to come into me in my office any day, anytime, she's more than welcome to.
I was just wondering, is there any help for people who are struggling financially?
There's the money and budgeting services, or MABS it's called. What MABS does is it looks at your earnings, the money coming into the house, and it looks at the outgoings, your costs, your living costs, and it sees where adjustments can be made. And if, for example, you're having any problems paying back a debt, be it a bank loan or a credit union loan, MABS will meet these institutions on your behalf, and you know that they'll argue your case and they'll come to a settlement which is suitable to both parties. You know, it's completely free and it's completely confidential as well. So,
How do you address the issue of Roberto not being at the meeting?
Well, I approach Amy by asking her how things are at home with Roberto and ensuring her that she's aware of a lot of services that are available to him, and also try to make her as aware that Roberto is welcome to come to meetings at any time, which I asked her during the meeting.
Any other questions of that? So I would just like to know which theories were you informing you when you were doing this case study, and give me an example of with the theory, whichever theories you used, you know, who they may be related to in the case study.
I think Meithael, maybe the hierarchy of needs in terms of Sean, that he, we mentioned that like he has all of his basic needs, but when it comes to say love and belonging, he's missing that aspect from Roberto, and that has knock-on effects for his self-esteem and how he interacts with other people. That's a big one. I think.
Well, from Brenner, one of the, you know, the ecological theory, looking at all that surrounded Sean, and how each aspect of everyone else's life involved in is affecting his own circumstances, and just kind of look at it in a holistic manner and take all on board.
And Erickson's psychology theory, Sean is in the initiative and guilt stage, and he doesn't know where he stands with his father because his father's not there most of the time, and he's asking questions like why and wondering.
So what does Sean need?
Everyone to be happier.
People to be happier, yeah.
Positivity in his
A
life.
father
Father figure.
Presence there as
You're
well.
present. Yeah. Do you think you need security and consistency as well?
Big version. And friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't have any
Socialise
friends.
more.
Okay, that's all. Anyone else got any questions? No? Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.